Is Don Lemon going to get canceled for this? Tell me, chat. What do you think? Is Don Lemon going to get canceled for this, or will it just kind of get swept under the rug? Because he is making what he would classify as a radical right-wing argument about the NBA versus the WNBA that doesn't track with all of his other lines of thinking. The cognitive dissonance here is epic. It's absolutely epic. I'm shocked he is too, John. I'm shocked that he's going there too. I honestly can't, like, it's scrambling my brain a little bit that I'm hearing this kind of common sense come from Don Lemon. But I wonder if he could make the jump. I wonder if he could make the jump from using the common sense argument of boys shouldn't go into girls' bathrooms because it could end up badly for the girls. Do you think he would? You think he would make that logical argument? You think he would make that logical jump? Probably not. He definitely would get canceled for that. But I just have to. We have to play this again. Just look.
Gain more fans. I have a big issue with this, guys. WNBA, same things happening to them.
There's
until
also
media.
More interest in the
hold
NBA.
on. Until big media companies, big tech companies, advertisers invest and put them on their airwaves more. And
now stop. Let's talk about that for a second. Big ad companies invest in ads for things lots of people watch. So what she's talking about here is an ESG filtered assessment of the way the market should work, that they should invest more in something that's going to offer them far less return for their investment because, you know, equity and stuff. She's making a moral argument about a market-driven issue. And Don Lemon is smacking her upside the head with the truth of the matter. Because CNN right now is experiencing that, guess what? Where there is still a free market, which is media, honestly, CNN has lost the battle of equity because people vote by not watching it, right? And so you're seeing the house being cleaned at CNN because they, for a long time, made the same argument this woman is making and that he's fighting back against. Just listen to her one more time. We'll keep it playing.
Hold on. Until big media companies, big tech companies, advertisers invest and put them on their airwaves more and allow people and allow people to see it more and gain more fans, then you will push toward more equality. But if they are blocked in so many ways and not invested in as much, they don't even have a. I know you're not, but they don't even have a shot.
Okay, now look what he's doing here. This is so funny because he is so steeped in the intersectional call out culture and the what do you call it, the kind of red guard way of living, that he has to couch everything in his identity. Look, guys, I'm not sexist. Look, I was raised with women. Oh, by the way, remember I'm black, right? Before he says the truth. This is what critical race theory, what critical theory, what queer theory and all this forces people into, is forces them to use and grab their identities, their various, as shields for when they might say something that's out of spin, right? And the fact that these two are women and he's the man in the situation even trumps the fact that he's black and that they're discussing a female situation where the female should have the intersectional hierarchy prize in the conversation. And he's couching everything he says behind his identity. So he's using diversity as a human shield here to shield himself from what is going to be an unpopular opinion.
I know you're not, but they don't even have a shot.
I grew up the only boy in a family of all women. I understand what you're saying, but not everybody, honestly, has the same skill. Not everybody has the same interest in the sport. I think the women should be paid more. I do. But if the men,
you're right that not everyone has the same skills because the women are better skilled.
Well, the women are better
and then
skilled
we just start making
against
stuff
other
up.
women. But if the women played the men, they wouldn't be winning.
Now, hold on. I want to make a point about a social emotional learning here. Don Lemon, John talked about earlier, John Small here in the chat said that he was playing on their chivalry, their sense of chivalry, right? Yeah, I agree. But there wasn't anything chivalrous. You don't have to, chivalry wasn't about ignoring objective truth, right? So Don Lemon here, to be emotionally empathetic to the women in the room, was just forced to parrot an objectively incorrect sentiment because the woman said it. That's, he learned that through media-induced social emotional learning. That's a weaponization of his empathy in this moment. And the woman here does that. Listen.
The men, they wouldn't be winning the way that they win.
Okay, I'm not going to get into. I'm not even going to get into that argument.
I'm just saying, if the sport women are better skilled against other women, just
right
in
here.
the sport, I think the women should be paid more. I do. But if the men,
you're right that not everyone has the same skills because the women are better skilled.
Well, the women are better skilled against other women.
So he accepts the premise, but then he actually, and good for him, flips it. But he still allows her point to stand in a way that it absolutely should not stand. Because I think in every actual measure that matters, men outperform women athletically, not just in basketball, but in all the things, right? And so he's going through a struggle session here. It's a little mini struggle session. And quite frankly, it's interesting to watch Don Lemon grab a hold of some common sense in this area and attempt to make what he would call, if he were watching this later and someone else were in his position, say Alex Jones or Tim Pool or anyone else, would say they were making right-wing arguments, radical right-wing arguments. It's amazing. Maybe, do you think, chat, do you think that Don Lemon is either, do you think that he's coming to see the light when it comes to maybe a situation or two? Or do you think that, I mean, he just lost his show, right? He just lost his primetime show. He's graciously, they're allowing him to stay on CNN, having been a part of wrecking that company. Do you think he's actually seeing the light of the fact that the things that he's argued over the past 4 or 5 years have been complete lunacy? Or do you think that he's making a calculated decision to say, wait a minute, I got to maybe start speaking some common sense, or I'm going to be flat out on my butt? I don't know. What do you think, chat? We'll just finish it up.
But if the women played the men, they wouldn't be winning the way that they win.
Okay, I'm not going to get into. I'm not even going to get into that argument.
I'm just saying, if the
So John Small says reason number 2. He thinks it's reason number 2 that he doesn't really believe it, but he's ticked at his bosses, right? And he's trying to save his own keister by presenting a nuanced argument, which just happens to be the truth, to these ladies. But look, these ladies look very stressed. They look very stressed about this whole thing. From the get-go, from the minute he starts talking.
The men's team makes more money. If they make more money, then they should get more money.
Why does the men's
team makes more money because because people are more interested in
it. But guess who takes part of blame? I have a big issue with this, guys. WNBA, same thing's happening to them.
There's
until
also
media,
more interest in the
hold
NBA,
on. Until big media companies, big tech companies, advertisers invest.
The media's interest in terms of investment is directly related to the public's interest in the investment. That's why Super Bowl ads, by the way, that's why Super Bowl ads cost more than regular football game ads, because you have more eyes on the Super Bowl than you do on regular season or playoff games. So this woman has lost the plot when it comes to what a free market is, but that's what ESG is, folks. That's what ESG investing is. We should give more money to something that doesn't earn it because equity. That's a redistribution of wealth based upon a figment of someone's moral imagination. That's what that is. That is a market-based decision based upon a figment of someone's moral imagination. That is ESG. Environmental social governance. That is the logic behind it. It's all emotion. Social emotional learning leads to social emotional control through those who implement what it is that you should be following and what you shouldn't. If they set the moral standard on you and you do not follow it, you won't get the money regardless of who is interested in it or not. You get it? Don Lemon here, this whole situation is really good for explaining what it is that we're dealing with economically that is driving this woke madness. That's right, John. Maybe when the WA will get more eyeballs, when maybe. That's right, Wikipedia. Get woke, go broke. Guys, for those who aren't chatting into the chat, I have more people than just these two. You can chat in. Super chats are open, by the way. But do you see what I'm saying here? How this perfectly encapsulates the issues that we're experiencing on a market level that drive the wokeness we're seeing in cultures that lead to girls getting assaulted in bathrooms by boys who are dressed as girls. You know, in that situation, nobody talks about it. That transgender, the male in that classroom in Edmond, Oklahoma, right? That classroom in Edmond, Oklahoma, the male was probably more apt to be violent because testosterone, which is inherent in males, makes you more violent. But also the fact that he's now a super duper protected class by being a transgender male, a biological male who presents as a woman, makes it much less likely that he gets in any real trouble for that assault. It's amazing that people cannot see this. And what I want everyone to understand is, again, as I preach all the time, this goes right back to your colleges, because your colleges are pushing the economic agenda that is making all this happen. I made two videos, one about the WEF and China, and one about the WEF and the University of Oklahoma, which shows the direct link between the two and the social and societal transformation that's put out by OU's strategic research verticals and how it connects directly to the WEF's global ESG economic agenda. This is not a conspiracy theory. They say it themselves. They say it themselves. It is, you know, maybe I'll just show a little bit of that. So I got a little bit of time here. So